Go home, Sophia.
I'll come tomorrow.
Hello, besties. Welcome to Dark Heart Tales TV, where we bring you emotional stories, and every story is filled with morals and unforgettable lessons. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss our new stories. Now, let's dive into the story. Sophia Obi grew up in a world where money solved almost everything. The tall iron gates of her father's mansion opened without question. The marble floors inside the house were always shining, and the air conditioners never stopped humming. Her father, Chief Obi, was known across the city as a powerful businessman whose companies built roads, offices, and factories. People feared him more than they respected him. He believed kindness made people weak, and he raised his household with strict rules and emotional distance. But Sophia was different. While other wealthy children learned to command, Sophia learned to listen. While others spoke loudly to workers, she greeted them by name. She had a calm presence that made people comfortable around her, from security guards to drivers to housekeepers. Her mother often said Sophia had a heart too soft for the world she was born into. Sophia didn't mind. She preferred quiet things, reading novels near the garden fountain, sketching designs in her notebook, and visiting places outside her usual environment. She sometimes told her best friends, Eve and Precious, that she felt like a stranger inside her own life. One hot afternoon, while driving alone through a busy part of town, Sophia noticed a small roadside carpentry workshop. It wasn't anything special at first glance, just wood planks stacked against a zinc-roofed structure, sawdust scattered on the ground, and unfinished chairs leaning against each other. But something caught her attention. It was the man walking there. Emeka stood focused over a large piece of wood, shaping it carefully with steady hands. Sweat ran down his temple, but he didn't stop walking. His movements were precise, practiced, and patient. There was a quiet strength in the way he handled his tools, like someone who had learned discipline through hardship. Sophia slowed her car. Then, without fully understanding why, she parked. The moment she stepped out, the environment felt different from her usual world. The air smelled of wood and sun-warmed earth instead of perfume and polished floors. She walked carefully toward the workshop, aware of curious eyes watching her. Emeka noticed her when the hammering around him stopped. He looked up briefly, then continued walking, assuming she was lost. Sophia cleared her throat gently. "Good afternoon," she said. Emeka paused and looked at her again, this time properly. "Afternoon," he replied. "I want to make a bookshelf," she said. He studied her clothes, her shoes, and the expensive car behind her. "You fit come here?" he asked plainly. Sophia smiled a little. "Is that a problem?" "No," he said, returning to the wood. "Just asking." She explained the kind of shelf she wanted, though she struggled to describe it clearly. Emeka eventually sketched a simple design on cardboard and showed her. Sophia's face brightened immediately. She liked how straightforward he was, how he didn't try to impress her or change his personality. She paid without bargaining. That surprised him. Before leaving, she sat quietly on a wooden bench watching him walk. It felt peaceful there, like the noise of her complicated life had faded for a moment. The next day, she returned, and the day after that. At first, Emeka assumed she was just bored, but Sophia kept coming, sometimes bringing cold drinks for the workers, sometimes just sitting and talking about small things. She asked about his work. He answered briefly. She asked about his childhood. He avoided details. But slowly, the silence between them became easier. Sophia learned that Emeka lived with his mother in a small rented house not far from the workshop. She learned he had stopped school early to support his family after his father died years ago. He never explained how his father died, and she never pushed him. Emeka, on the other hand, learned Sophia was not like the rich people he imagined. She didn't complain about heat or dust. She didn't act superior. She laughed easily and listened carefully. Still, he kept emotional distance. One afternoon, Sophia arrived with food packed in neat containers. "You shouldn't have," Emeka said. "I wanted to," she replied. They ate together quietly. The workers began whispering among themselves about the unusual friendship forming between them. Days turned into weeks. Sophia's visits became part of Emeka's routine, though he never admitted it. He found himself noticing the time she usually arrived, sometimes glancing at the road without realizing. One evening, heavy rain suddenly started while Sophia was still at the workshop. Water hit the zinc roof loudly, trapping them together under the small shelter. They stood side by side watching the rain fall. "I like the smell of rain," Sophia said. "Me too," Emeka replied. That simple moment felt strangely important. Sophia gathered courage she didn't know she had. "You don't talk much," she said. "Talking no be my strength. I talk too much when I'm nervous." "You nervous now?" "Yes." "Why?" Sophia hesitated before answering. "Because I like being here." Emeka didn't respond immediately. The rain continued falling, filling the silence. That was the first moment he truly saw her, not as a rich stranger visiting his shop, but as a person choosing to stay where she didn't have to be. A few days later, the bookshelf was ready. Emeka delivered it to Sophia's home himself. The mansion overwhelmed him, but Sophia behaved as if it was normal to bring him there. Inside her room, he installed the bookshelf while she watched. "Thank you," she said when he finished. "You're welcome." She handed him extra money for transport, which he initially refused but later accepted to avoid embarrassing her. After that visit, something shifted between them. Sophia became more open about her life. She spoke about feeling lonely despite having everything money could buy. She talked about how her father rarely smiled and how the house felt too quiet most nights. Emeka listened more than he spoke. One day, Sophia insisted on visiting Emeka's home to greet his mother. Emeka resisted strongly at first, but Sophia was gentle enough in a way he found difficult to refuse. His house was small and modest, with faded paints and simple furniture. His mother lay resting on a thin mattress in the living room, her body weak from illness. Sophia knelt beside her respectfully. "Good evening, Ma," she said softly. Emeka's mother smiled faintly. "God bless you," the woman whispered. From that day, Sophia began helping with hospital bills, food supplies, and medication. She never acted like she was doing something big. She behaved as if caring for them was natural. Emeka felt both grateful and uncomfortable. He wasn't used to receiving help, but he couldn't deny how much easier life became with Sophia around. Their bond deepened quietly. Sophia's friends, Eve and Precious, noticed changes in her. She smiled more often and spoke about Emeka with warmth. Eve was happy for her. Precious was not. Precious began asking more questions about Emeka, pretending curiosity, but feeling something darker growing inside her: jealousy. Sophia didn't notice. Her world had begun to revolve around a simple carpentry shop and the man who walked inside. One evening, as Sophia prepared to leave the workshop, she turned to Emeka. "Emeka," she said softly. "Yes, I'm happy when I'm here." He looked at her, unsure how to respond. He felt something unfamiliar in his chest, something fragile and hopeful. He didn't know it yet, but Sophia's presence was slowly breaking down walls he had built for years. And somewhere beneath the calm surface of their growing connection, unseen trouble was already beginning to form, because love had entered their lives quietly, and soon the past would enter loudly. Sophia's visits to the carpentry workshop became part of her daily routine, as natural to her as waking up each morning. Sometimes she came with snacks for the workers, sometimes with medicine for Emeka's mother, and sometimes with nothing but her presence. She never needed a reason to be there. Emeka tried to pretend it didn't matter, but it did. On mornings when she didn't come early, he found himself glancing toward the road more than usual. When a white car passed by without stopping, he felt a small disappointment he couldn't explain. One afternoon, Sophia arrived at the workshop carrying a small plastic bag filled with groceries. "You didn't have to bring this," Emeka said, though his voice was softer than before. "I know," Sophia replied, "but your mother needs to eat well." Emeka nodded slowly. "Thank you." It was the first time he said those words to her with full sincerity. Sophia smiled, and that smile lingered in his mind long after she left. Later that evening, Sophia sat in her bedroom staring at her phone. She opened Emeka's contact, typed a message, erased it, and typed again. "Did your mom eat?" she finally sent. Minutes passed, then the reply came. "Yes, she said thank you." Sophia hugged her pillow, smiling like a child. Across town, Emeka looked at his phone again before placing it down. He didn't understand why something so small made him feel calm. Days continued to pass gently between them. One Saturday, Sophia arrived at the workshop earlier than usual. Emeka was still arranging tools. "You are early," he said. "I couldn't sleep," Sophia replied. "Why?" She shrugged. "I was thinking." "About?" "You." Emeka froze briefly, then continued arranging wood. "You think too much," he said. Sophia sat on the bench. "Tell me something about yourself." "There's nothing to tell." "That's not true," he sighed. "My father died when I was young," Emeka said quietly. Sophia listened carefully. "He worked at a construction company. One day he didn't come back." Sophia's expression softened. "I'm sorry." Emeka nodded once, ending the conversation there. Sophia didn't push further, but the sadness in his voice stayed with her. Later that day, Sophia visited Emeka's mother again, helping prepare a simple meal while Emeka stepped outside to buy medicine. "You are a good girl," Emeka's mother said weakly. Sophia smiled. "He is a good son." "He has suffered," the older woman replied. Sophia didn't fully understand the weight behind those words. That night, Sophia told Evie about the visit while they sat together in her room. "I really care about him," Sophia said. "I can see that," Evie replied. "And he cares about you too." Sophia smiled shyly. But Precious, sitting quietly nearby, watched with unreadable eyes. "You should be careful," Precious said calmly. "Why?" Sophia asked. "Different worlds don't mix easily." Sophia shook her head. "Love doesn't care about status." Precious forced a small smile. "Maybe," but inside, jealousy tightened around her thoughts. The next week, Sophia paid for Emeka's mother's hospital test without telling him first. When Emeka discovered it, he confronted her gently. "You shouldn't do things like that without telling me," he said. "I was trying to help," Sophia replied. "I know, but I don't want to feel like charity." Sophia looked hot. "I don't see you that way." Emeka sighed. "I just want to stand on my own." Sophia nodded. "Okay." But later that evening, Emeka found a bag of medicine at his door with no note. He knew it was from Sophia. He didn't return it. Instead, he sat beside his mother and helped her take the medication. The emotional distance between them continued shrinking even when they didn't speak about it. One evening, the sky turned orange as the sun began to set. Sophia sat at the workshop while Emeka finished polishing a chair. "Emeka," she said softly. "Yes, I'm happy when I'm here." He paused. "I don't have much to offer. I'm not looking for things." He looked at her. Sophia's voice trembled slightly. "I'm looking for you." The words stayed between them in the quiet evening air. Emeka didn't respond immediately, but he didn't walk away either. That was answer enough for Sophia. From that day, something unspoken connected them. Not officially love, but no longer just friendship. And far away from their quiet moments, Precious was beginning to search for something, anything that could break what they were building. Because jealousy, once it takes root, doesn't stay quiet for long.